make sure my phone is
There
muted.
we go. Go live.
So exciting.
We should be live.
I'm excited.
I feel like I'm on a first date.
Yep.
Gerard Jenkins.
We should be live.
Oh, it looks
Yep,
like
we're live.
Are we?
Yep,
Woohoo!
we're all live.
Hello,
Hey, everyone.
everyone.
Hey. All right, I got to turn off the volume so I'm not hearing our conversation from 3 minutes ago. All right, we're live. It's very
thanks.
exciting. How's it going, guys? Let me just see if I can make
It's going
this
good.
into.
You mean to do some filler as you do some technical changes?
Yeah, I want to make it so that I
So
can't
a horse
see
walks
us.
into a bar.
Oh shit!
And it's
What
like,
happened to
ow.
the horse?
Poor horse.
All right, I got this. I got this
You
working
got it?
out now.
Nice. Love it. Professional.
I just didn't want to see the video because the video is like 3 minutes behind, but I want to see the comments,
Yeah, the chat.
the chat.
Whoa.
All right.
Things are happening.
We got-
Okay.
Morley, what have you been working on this week? This is the pre-show. Everyone watching the live is going to get a free pre-show, and it's it's the most exciting pre-show in all of podcasting history.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Morley, what have you been working on this week? I saw you released a video.
Yeah, I think I released a few. So we had the last one I released was I had a keyboard growing up, and when my parents came to Toronto about a month ago, my mom is like trying to clear out our house from all of our childhood stuff, and she's like, "Hey, do you want your keyboard?" And I was like, "Well, I'm probably not really gonna play it," but I asked Eden, "Hey, do you want a keyboard?" She's like, "Sure, like I'll play that." And then my parents came, and my brother walked in with this huge thing, and she's like, "What is that?" And I said, "It's the keyboard." And she thought I meant a computer keyboard. But regardless, she has been using it a lot, and like getting back into playing the piano. And the music stand that came with it went missing. So I basically designed like a 3D printed solution to make a replaceable music stand for it, which was like a very satisfying 3D printed fix, which I guess is sort of becoming a theme on my channel, which I'm really happy about because those projects are so fulfilling and fun and don't take much time. So I've been like searching kind of around and looking around and seeing what other things, pain points in my life I can solve with 3D printing. The problem is that both Eden and I are really bad at noticing those pain points. Like we'll both kind of just like shoulder on and ignore those sorts of things. Like with the you saw, I don't know if you saw the video, but in the intro, she's like, "What do you mean? Like, it's fine." And I'm like, it's not fine. You're leaning the book against the closet, and we can never get into this closet because of where this piano is. Yeah.
I'm the exact same way. I will live with these pain points. I will walk over top, like in my garage, I'll walk over top of something instead of rerouting it. And you're like, oh, if you spent 5 minutes just rerouting it, you'd never trip on that thing ever again, or you could trip on it forever.
Yeah. It's you gotta like change your perspective a little bit, which I've been trying to do. Oh, I also put out the machete tape dispenser video,
Yes,
which
that's
was
the
super fun. That was a lot of fun to make, and it came out like just as I liked. I've actually been thinking about taking my Dremel to the blade to add little serrations because it would work a lot better if the blade was serrated.
Yeah, but then you'll have a shitty serrated knife. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't see myself using it practically very much in the near future, and I feel like for like legit bushwhacking, it would still work fine if it were serrated.
if you wanted to make it better, just put a hacksaw blade on it.
Yeah, but that's not the point. Is it's a machete.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, instead of spending all the time making your machete serrated,
Yeah, that's
just
true.
spend 2 seconds and change it. You made the video already. No one's ever gonna look at it again.
I'm gonna look at it. It's part of the culture of this room now.
Yeah.
The last thing though is that in the last few days, today especially, the punch clock repair has been like blowing up. I think
wow.
I gained like 500 subscribers today.
What?
It's been
I
pretty
guess I gotta
wild.
make videos if I want to get subscribers.
Yeah, so that's been fun. and it's like no signs of slowing down. Good times.
Sweet. Well, before we move on to what Adam's been working on, I'm going to say hi to everyone who's in the chat. We got Billy from the newly renamed, instead of him and I, he's Polton Projects now. We got Brad from I'm Gonna Make. We have Dave Bauer from Dave Bauer Art, Justin from Bear Make It, Jared Jenkins, Devin Williamson, Tim from TF Turning. He's at 2 o'clock in the morning, staying up just for us.
The commitment.
Commitment. James from Fixed Fingers. We've got Greg from Platte Valley Woodworks, not Pallet Valley. I thought it was Pallet Valley for a long time because apparently I'm dyslexic. I think that's all the people I see who've commented, and it looks like Greg solved his couldn't see anything issue by refreshing. So if anyone else has the issue where they don't see any video, Adam, are you sleeping? Everyone's asking.
No, I'm trying to open up YouTube on YouTube desktop site on my iPad so I can actually comment from Clampcast and everything. Because I can't do it from the computer.
And we got
so
Keith Renner from Blackthorn Concepts is here, and he said you first, and then he says yo. So I think he meant yo.
Well, while Adam continues to figure out his iPad troubles, Grant, what has been in your clamps?
Well, this week I've actually been a little bit busy working on the garage renovation still. I have finished up putting in all the plugs where they need to go, for the most part, and I've pulled the wire. So it's a 6-gauge 6x3 Romex wire that I pulled all the way from one side of my house all the way through to the garage that's on the other side of the house, and it's a bear of a wire. It is a thick, like, I don't know, probably at least 3/4 of an inch thick wire with all three of them together.
The kids would say it's a thick boy.
It's a thick boy. It's a chunky wire. And it was kind of a bitch, but I made it. It's into the garage now. I'm just going to have to finish off routing it into the panel itself and then call in an electrician to hook it up. And
so is that like a code thing? Like you're not allowed to hook it up yourself, or you just want their expertise?
Yeah, it's definitely something you're supposed to call in a professional for. And I will definitely 100% call in a professional.
Oh, I get it. Never. I don't get it. There's nothing to get. What am I saying?
The other thing is I delivered the leather headphones to my buddy, and then I saw your thing today with the way that you did the ending of your parallel thinking reel, where you did the 3D printed like inset and outset to make the leather snap even better. And I went,
I'm sure
fuck.
I'm sure there's a name for it. I haven't looked it up yet. I think it's like, I'm calling it bubble embossing.
Yeah. Well,
but basically, like, this is for a book cover. That was a test piece for a journal that I'm making for my dad. I'm basically taking like 3D printed pieces, gluing them to the book board, and then forming the leather around that. So I got the idea from Andy Pugh, who kind of did the opposite. So he made a hardcover leather book where he cut out the letters in the book board and then pressed the leather into it. And I was thinking, like, is there a way to do that with 3D printing, or just like in another way? And I'm sure that people have done this with whether with 3D printing or not. But that was the first try, and it looks so sick. I'm super happy with it.
Yeah, when I saw it, I went, that is something I'm going to be using in the future for sure, because it just looks like it makes such a better, like, it definitely stands out. Like
the problem, I don't know if it's a problem, but with what I did, like, it embeds a 3D printed plastic piece inside.
Totally.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was actually good, because then it won't. Like, my issue is to get around the headphones, I re-wet the leather, and it's the same with when I did the harmonica. I re-wet the leather, and so a little bit of the definition of the stamp disappeared. Yeah, that's never going to disappear. That's CJK forever. Oh, Morley, you're muted.
Come on, what is this, amateur hour? For the YouTube watchers, I'm showing it on camera. We got the side lighting to highlight the definition.
that's beautiful.
it's bulky.
Yeah, it's bulky, but you wouldn't have to make it that thick. You
No,
could
I
make
mean
it
like
thinner.
bulky in a good way.
Yeah.
Solid.
Oh, we got another new person I saw in the chat. Emmett from Dead Rise Woodcraft. Welcome. All right, Adam, do you want to
Yeah.
talk during this little bit? Have you been doing anything? Are you planning anything
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow?
Actually, I've been working on trying to figure out inlaid cutting boards and all that sort of stuff. I downloaded VCarve by Vectric, and I got so excited because I got everything ready to go, and then it tells me that with the trial version you can't export your own files. So I'm not paying $1,100 for a program. I've downloaded what I thought was Carveco, but it's actually called Carveco. And I'm trying to figure that out. I was playing with it yesterday. I went to do a cut this morning and it says there's an issue with the code, so I think I haven't set up my machine, or I didn't remember to set up my machine in the program. So yeah, going with that. But hopefully today sometime I'll get a carve going after we record. We'll see how we
Nice.
go.
Do you have any certain CNC projects in the pipeline?
Not really. I'm just playing with the inlay at the moment. I bought my local Bunnings had these like round discs of wood on sale for $5, so I bought a couple of those, and I'm going to make some serving trays to sell for Mother's Day because Mother's Day is in like 5 days. So yeah, so
Cool.
I can practice inlay and then make some profit off it.
Nice. Grant's just about to ruin your day with a harmonica.
Good thing I have the mute button. I have control over your microphone.
For those who don't have podcasts, there's this interesting feature in Zencaster where like this is great. I have like a backing track. You the host can mute people, but they can't unmute them. I think
Yeah,
it's like
it's
a
so
privacy
weird.
setting, which makes sense. But it's kind of a strange feature to work around.
Yeah, I can also turn off his camera, but I
Oh,
can't turn it
thanks.
back on, so he has to.
Well, that's
I
just
will
been
say,
fun.
I will quickly say too, for those that are watching in the pre-show, I was having some issues earlier, and unfortunately, the way that we're recording this, I was having some issues with OBS and everything. I hopefully have fixed it now. If the screen does go white, I do have the live stream up next to me on my iPad, off the Wi-Fi, so I can see if it goes white, and I will fix it. It shouldn't, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Unfortunately I can't comment from Clamp. I can't find a way to do it not on the computer, and having that page open on my computer is what the issue was with the screen going white. So yeah, but we're all fixed now, so that's all good.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, we
All
just
right, Grant.
realized
Yes.
realized that Adam's not recording.
Yeah, is that an issue? Zencaster doesn't say it's recording.
I'm not recording. I was too busy worrying about everything else.
Well, that was the pre-show.
Luckily,
Well,
we only
actually, I
lost the
don't-
pre-show. We can grab it from YouTube.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do I actually need to record? I'm not going to edit, am I? We're just going to put
Just
the
hit
live stream
record.
up.
Hit
Yeah.
rec-
Just hit record, and we'll have a backup just in case.
yeah.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
good- yeah,
And
good
then
idea.
on-
all right, we're recording.
On that note, and it's also the only way I know how much time we've been talking.
Oh, you can do the intro now.
No, hang on.
What?
Before you do the intro, before you say hello and welcome to Clamp,
Yep.
I'm going
Okay,
to
go.
count you in. I'm going to count you in, and I'm going to when I point at you. Okay, you ready?
Hello and welcome to Clamp, the weekly podcast where we talk about everything related to creating, living, and making projects. I'm your host, Grant Alexander, and joining me as always is Morley Kurt and Adam Mackey. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Clamping It 100. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too. What are you wearing?
Me
Who are
too.
you wearing tonight, Grant?
Oh, tonight I am wearing, if you couldn't guess, Landshark.
Nice.
What? Can you, what about you?
Let's see, I got the super dry shirt. I got like 2 of these super dry shirts at a thrift store. Super comfortable and it fit me very well. So
Wow.
I'm trying to get more of them, and I'm wearing some Everlane cut off jean shorts.
Wow, cutoffs.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah,
It's as if
it's
you
spring,
were
baby.
you were born in the 70s.
Yeah, I think that maybe that's my spirit year.
There's Adam has screwed up his
I know.
camera. I can see.
Because you typed in the chat and it moved to my camera, so the transformations that I had from the recording.
Oh,
got all
that's
messed up.
really funny.
You should just slowly move around each of our cameras throughout the record. No, don't. Do that.
Don't do that. I love it. Well, so this is an exciting milestone. 100 episodes. When I started this, I definitely didn't think 100 was going to happen because I've listened. I don't know. Anyone who's listened to the first episode would agree. But luckily, we got a lot better, and it's been a lot more fun. Adam, what are you wearing tonight?
I am wearing, hopefully for the last time, a shirt that is way too... No, hopefully for not the last time, a shirt that is way too big for me, because tomorrow I go into surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, wow,
Yeah.
that's big. How do you feel?
I am petrified. I'm excited, but I'm very nervous. I've never been in surgery before. I've never spent any time in hospital. I spent a night in hospital on Christmas this year because I was really sick, but I've never had surgery. I've never been admitted into like a bed or anything. Nothing. So, and then in the back of my head, I'm like, am I making the right choice? Is this the right thing? Should I be doing this? But I know it is.
What's the recovery going to be like? I mean, like in the short term.
So essentially it's 4 weeks of liquids. I'm only allowed 30 mil of liquid every 15 minutes for the first 4 weeks. Then I go on to like soups and purees. Not purees. Like I can't have any chunky food for like 12 weeks. And then after 12 weeks I can actually start eating normal. But I've been talking to my dietitian and like I don't want to eat. I want to live on shakes forever. Like,
How long until you can drink a beer? Because that's the most important part.
probably about 12 weeks. Depends. It depends. Everyone's different.
Oh, Well, I don't think
Well,
I can do it. So
Technically,
anyways,
after surgery, I can have anything I want. There's no limitations on what I can have. It's just
Other-
what irritates my stomach and that like I'm limited to like how much I can have and like I'm only allowed to have liquids and that sort of stuff. But if I found a way to like make a soup out of KFC, I could do that.
Yuck.
Yep, that sounds like something KFC is probably already working on.
Yeah, just mainline it.
I bought my wife for her birthday last year a KFC candle.
That's gross.
She
Sounds better
refuses
than
to
pureed
light it.
KFC.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
talking a lot about food, I wanted to steal a little bit from the Making Our Way podcast.
Because they're not here
talk.
to defend it.
They're not. Well, no, they're not. Well, they're not here, which is, our good timing is when they record. But they've started talking about food a lot, and in one of their episodes, they talked about mayo or Miracle Whip. And I wanted to know both your guys' thoughts, and then I'll give you mine. The polarizing one, I'm sure.
So I've always heard that like Miracle Whip is not mayonnaise, but I don't think I've ever had it. I've also heard it's like a regional thing. I think Miracle Whip just isn't as big in New England as it is in other parts of the country. So we would always get like Hellman's mayonnaise as kids, or like the Market Basket generic brand.
Right.
So yeah, that's me.
Adam,
don't know what
do you
Miracle
know what
Whip is.
Miracle Whip is?
No.
You don't know it.
No idea.
Okay. It's the one with the tangy zip of Miracle Whip.
No idea.
Okay. Do you like mayonnaise?
No.
No. Apparently Australians aren't white.
Everyone else loves mayonnaise. I just don't.
Oh, okay.
It's like
Well,
Vegemite. I don't like Vegemite either.
Okay. Fair. I don't like... I don't mind mayonnaise, but I prefer Miracle Whip. And I always thought that Miracle Whip was mayonnaise.
So how would you describe the difference in taste between mayonnaise and a Miracle Whip?
We'll get there, Adam. Just wait. There's a whole section for that.
It was on my
Hold it
wall,
back.
but it fell off.
So the difference between Miracle Whip and mayonnaise is the amount of egg content. So in the States, there's a ruling by the FDA that for it to be mayonnaise, it needs to have X number of egg content, or else it's not mayonnaise, and then according to some people, they call it a salad dressing. In Canada, we call it a spread because nobody is putting Miracle Whip as the salad dressing.
If you are dressing your salad with Miracle Whip, that it's no longer a salad.
Right. Oh, I see some more people in the chat. We got Dad It Yourself DIY joined us.
Yeah.
Just want to quickly say, James asked, am I getting gastric band? No, I'm getting gastric sleeve. So gastric sleeve, they actually cut out 80% of my stomach, whereas gastric band, they literally put a band around your stomach.
Cool.
Well, and I'll say this, if nobody here has ever participated in a live video before, we say things, and then about 5 minutes later, it feels like the chat responds to it.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a big delay.
Massive lag. Talk amongst yourselves. We'll weigh in when we can.
Right. So I prefer Miracle Whip. My wife, I didn't know it wasn't mayonnaise. My wife prefers Hellman's, and so we have both in the fridge. And I make her make the sandwiches with Miracle Whip for me, and she can use whatever she wants on hers. Now,
Nice.
the second food-related question I wanted to talk about was sauces on eggs, because this
Hell
was big
yeah.
in the Discord today, and I thought,
You-
who is that? Like, people were anti sauces on eggs. I don't do it, but how can you be anti it? Like,
Yeah, huevos rancheros with some salsa and cheese and tortilla. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
okay, but what if you just had sunny side up eggs? You put
Yeah, so I mean,
it?
if you saw my reel today, that was pretty accurate in that like 90% of mornings I have like 2 fried eggs and a piece of toast for breakfast. And I usually don't put sauce on them, but I love hot sauce on eggs. I think it's like, it's like any novelty, right? I think of sauce on eggs as a novelty. It's not something I'm going to do every day because that takes
Right.
away it being special, but it's still delicious.
Adam,
Oh.
got it.
Sorry,
Go
to
ahead.
tack on one more thing to that, huge fan of ketchup on scrambled eggs.
Oh,
that is
me
like
too.
a fantastic combination.
Agreed, 100%. So ketchup on scrambled eggs is what I do.
Yeah. Put that on toast. Baby, you got a stew going.
Yeah.
Who eats what's catsup? What's the difference between catsup and ketchup?
Same thing.
So it's the same thing. It's just some weird Americans call it weird.
Okay. I eat.
It's like when you guys say
sauce
things
on my
in
scrambled eggs.
Australian.
I love
You
tomato
do
sauce
what?
on scrambled eggs. Tomato sauce on scrambled eggs. I love it. Sausage
Tomato
and egg.
sauce or ketchup?
Also love it. Same thing.
No. Tomato sauce is not ketchup.
What? No, hang on. When you say tomato sauce, it depends on what you mean. Because, like, tomato sauce, you might mean like a pizza sauce, but that's not what I mean.
Right. So what do you mean?
It's literally just called tomato sauce. It's our version of ketchup. We have ketchup as well, but like it's imported. But like it's not the same. They taste heaps different. Like if you go to Macca's, you get ketchup. If you go to like Burger King or KFC, you get tomato sauce.
Really?
This is so weird.
That's like, because I'm going to get roasted for this, but in the US, or I guess North America, Burger King and McDonald's are like the exact same category. There's no way ketchup is going to be different between them.
No. Well, yes,
Shepherd
because
pie
some
gravy.
had. It's kind of like the difference between Heinz ketchup and like any other brand. So some fast food restaurants don't have Heinz, and when you go there and you get like Hunt's ketchup, you're like, "What is this
Oh, yeah.
bullshit?"
Hunts.
So,
Jared, no, I
fix the
haven't
fingers.
done that yet.
Dead horse. Oh. Dead horse hasn't been done. Well, maybe there we go. We got an actual Australian, not an Australian impersonator like Adam. It's gonna. It's fine.
He just plays one on a podcast.
Well, that. So I don't really have a topic tonight. I don't know if you guys noticed this. I know Dave Bauer noticed it, but I did want to, before we went into more just random nonsense and thanking everyone for supporting us and blah blah blah. I wanted to talk about the exciting clamp challenge. For those
Yeah.
that didn't go into the Patreon and listen to the free pre-show that we uploaded yesterday, but if you're not tuning into the live and you're downloading this on the regular thing, you might have listened to it over the week. We are launching the very first clamp challenge. And what it's going to be is that you need to make a project. And it needs to include a clamp, either in the final. It needs to be in the final project is a clamp. Either a clamp becomes part of a project, like Morley made with his clamp that holds a phone stand, or your final project becomes a clamp. Because if you put a bunch of stuff together and make an awesome clamp,
I didn't even think about
that's
that.
a clamp. Yeah. Well, so Mark Daner, released a video today where he made a clamp, but it's too early. We hadn't started the clamp challenge yet, so he has to make another thing. So that's the rules. There's going to be judging criteria on basically about your creativity, on how you've used the clamp, and maybe the functionality or the aesthetics of the project. So those are like different things that we're going to be judging everything. But I wanted to talk a little bit about prizes because we've already got some awesome prizes coming up. Yeah. So I reached out to Keen Utility. They make work boots, and they are going to be giving a coupon code to get a free pair of work boots from their website. So if you go on their website, you can see there are, in Canadian dollars, work boots that are $350, and it's boom, you can get those. Or what I just picked up a pair, they were $280, the red hooks, and they're amazing looking boots. They work awesome, and there's other Keen. So if you go to Keen Utility, you can find it out there. We also got the one and only Ethan Carter is donating an X-Acto. We've reached out to a bunch of other places, including some clamp suppliers, potentially, to get us some sort of different prizes. But what I wanted to do is reach out to our listeners, because I know there's lots of different listeners out there that make things like, I know Chad's Custom Creations makes boot kickers. Whatever they're called. Yeah, the things that so you can kick off your boots.
Oh, okay.
Boot jacks. Yeah, so maybe he'd want to throw in a boot jack or two. But that's the kind of fun things. So any of our listeners, if it's something you want to do, or Dean Duplantis, he makes stamps. If Dean, if you're listening and you would like to donate a stamp, hit us up. If you don't, I know you him and Han whether or not you ever want to make another stamp in your life. So if you don't want to make one, don't worry. I'm not calling you out here. Yeah. But so, and if anyone has a in with a clamp company, hook us up.
Yeah, I think to add on a little bit about discussions we've had that people might not have heard about the challenge, there's like a million ways you can use a clamp. So you don't have to keep the clamp intact necessarily. You could take parts of it out and use certain mechanisms from it. That being said, I think, at least for me, I can speak personally, my own judging criteria is going to be, if you use the tiniest insignificant part of a clamp in a project, like, doesn't really feel like it fits the spirit of the challenge. So, the clamp in some major way should play a major part in the final project. I think it's going to be a really cool opportunity for people to experiment with like moving parts in their pieces if they haven't really had a chance to do that yet, or gizmo gadget sort of things.
What I think would be really cool if someone took a really shitty clamp, like a quick clamp, because they're really shitty, notoriously shitty, and forged it into like a C clamp. That was actually good.
Or a forged quick clamp.
Oh yeah, that would also be cool.
Like a full metal quick clamp.
Yeah, one that doesn't break when you try and put a little too much pressure.
That's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, don't 3D print one.
Yeah.
Grant spent, I don't know if everyone knows this, Grant spent a lot of time prototyping a 3D printed clamp. How's that one working out? Is that the latest one?
So this was the latest one, and despite it being very short, and it's just still, and this is I think 90% infill, and 5 extra layers, and it still flexes like a mofo. Now I can clamp stuff with this, but what I designed isn't. I don't know. Anyone can put it together, so I don't know. If you want a 3D print one, you definitely can. And I've seen some really cool looking 3D printed ones, and then I saw that, and then I couldn't stop thinking that's the best way to make it, and then I haven't come up with a better way to make one, and I don't want to just steal someone else's clamp design and then sell it as my own.
That's the tricky thing with 3D printing is like, at a certain point, you're making something out of plastic, and certain things don't work very well when they're made out of plastic. Like, I'm really happy I made the Wobie Jig 3D printed, but like it's definitely less rigid than wood, and it shakes a lot. So if I put a camera on it, like I have to like barely touch it for it to get a good shot. So it's turned into a great mic stand. I've taken a few shots with it as an overhead rig. But if anyone is going to make one, I would recommend 3D print the plates, but there's not really any reason to 3D print the long parts. I find with 3D printing, like anything linear or plate-like, there's no reason to 3D print that. 3D printing is great for like very specific parts that are custom.
Yes. Exactly. Now, I do have a Hot Wheels track clamp. So it's a clamp that looks sort of similar to this, but on the ends are Hot Wheels connectors that can slide onto Hot Wheels clamps so that you can clamp your Hot Wheels track to anything.
That's cool.
And that is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody already made that, so.
Yeah, and you're clamping plastic. Like the material strength doesn't have to be huge.
You're also not trying to add strength. You're just trying to hold something in place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, one day we will be releasing a 3D printed clamp for sale as a way to support us, but that day's not today.
Maybe when metal 3D printers become more accessible.
Maybe.
All right, I know this was probably sent like 3 minutes ago because of the lag with the chat, but Keith Drennan asked, what is the timeline on this challenge? Do we want to speak to that at all, or wait until an official announcement? Okay, so I'll let you take it away.
This isn't the actual announcement of the challenge, though.
Yeah, but once you say something, people hear it. And
Yeah. So everyone here gets a head start.
Yeah, which is, I hope, everyone who listens. But we're going to be giving everyone till the end of July. So July 31st is going to be the end date. So that gives everyone, once we make the official announcement, we're hoping to give everyone 2.5 months. Everyone listening now is got 3 months, basically. I know, at the Working Hands podcast gave everyone 4 months, and then everyone waited the last 2 weeks anyways. So I went, why not just, make it a nice date? That works the best for us. In terms of when I'm going to be on vacation. So that's why it's not the end of June. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, we were talking about ways to support the podcast, and Adam earlier had held up something. If you can grab it again. And maybe I would ask him to put it up on the video, but I also know that OBS isn't listening. I made a poster of every single one of the thumbnails that we made. You can get it up to, I think, 30 by 30. But it's like ridiculous. But it's available for sale, so you can get it from a 10 by 10 up to 30 by 30, and it's 100 thumbnails. Including the latest one that you're listening to right now. And you can get that online. There's going to be a link in the show notes.
Yeah.
Well, we got a white screen now. That's better.
We lost like 3 people the second that happened.
Yeah. We're back.
Oh, we're back.
Are we?
Woo.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice. Oh, okay, that was good. Okay, I'm glad. Yay, we fixed that surprisingly quickly. Normally, if we have a computer problem when we're recording and it's not live, we pretty much can go and get a haircut in between.
When I like this must have been like 2 years ago at this point. But when I was on Because We Make with Ethan and Vincent, I was sitting on the couch with the computer. So sitting on the couch with a blanket on my lap, and my computer was sitting on the blanket. And
Oh no.
halfway through the podcast, it just like it just slowed down, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what's happening?" And my computer was just overheating so much. Luckily, we were able to salvage that, but that was a good way of learning. Your computer needs ventilation.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
on the screen now, you will see the poster.
Yes. So if you go to the show notes, it'll be included there. You go to clampcast.com. It'll be included there under the Support Us tab. That's the exciting way that you can support us. This is like, if I were to say anything, this is like my very first art project. I've always been into that, like, who's like the can of soup guy?
Andy Warhol.
Yeah. And I don't know why this kind of feels not the same, not as good, nowhere near it, but an interesting. That's where I draw some inspiration.
Nice.
Yeah. So I hope someone out there will buy it, and hang it on their wall and think of us.
Yeah.
Did you
I
guys
went to
have?
the. Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
go ahead.
Go on. No, you do it.
I was gonna say, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I was just gonna say, I know our Pittsburgh listeners will relate. I went to the Andy Warhol Museum in Pittsburgh because that's where he did a lot of his work. I mean, obviously he was in New York City for a lot of his life, but I think he was from there or something. And it's really fascinating. He put out a lot of work throughout his life, and not just like in the pop art style. Like he had a really long career. Was like trained as an artist and slowly found his style and did films, so much stuff. Really interesting story.
Have you watched the Patreon with Jack Conte?
Well, I know Jack Conte is the Patreon founder, but what is Patreon?
So he did like a like Workbench Con or a conference for different just Patreon people. Or I don't know what it was for exactly, but anyways, it's on YouTube under Patreon, and Jack Conte talked about a bunch of different artists, and he talked about it in his own way about how he spent 6 months on like a single song.
Yeah,
Nobody noticed the difference between, like, no one but him would have noticed the difference between the start and the end. And he talked about how, like, proliferation of your work is almost better than perfection on a small number of works.
Mm-hmm.
Because he talked about the funnel system, where if you make a lot of something, you'll funnel down to end up getting something good. It's kind of like the millions of monkeys on keyboards thing. A little bit, but at the same time, you're not a monkey on a keyboard. You're actually creating lots of stuff, and I think you're seeing that right now, Morley. And I meant to send it to you when I watched it the other day. I wanted to send it to you because I think that's what you're doing right now, producing all this extra content that I don't think you would have done, 6 months ago, because you would have been worried too much about, is this my best piece? Because you were always trying to make the next one was your best one.
Yeah, I mean, I would still say I'm trying to do that in terms of the video, but I think my perspective kind of around YouTube and content has changed over time. Yeah, no, definitely. And I think there's an interesting balance between being prolific, which we've talked about before. It has its own drawbacks, and perfectionism. Like, I think perfectionism as a whole is pretty unhealthy, because nothing is ever going to be perfect. Like, you look at the best movies, the best works in the world, and you see imperfections. Like, the camera is a little shaky, they didn't frame it exactly right. But in a lot of ways, that's like what makes it feel human. But on the other hand, I really, when Ryan on Into the Spotlight said he always tries to be really happy and satisfied with whatever he puts out, that sounds like a very just like obvious thing to say, but it really stuck with me, because there are times where I've put things out and been like, I should have spent more time on that. Right. Just because it just wasn't ready. I almost felt that way with the last video I put out, which was the keyboard fix, because it came together really quickly, and I was sort of like unsure. I was like, is this good? Like, is this what I want it to be? I think it was mostly because I was unsure about like the title and thumbnail. But in the end, I was like, yeah, I think certain projects are small enough. I think, and I'm gonna eat my words in like 6 months as my perspective change, where it's not worth splitting hairs about that. Like, okay, I spent enough time on this. There's other things that I want to work on.
So Paramake has responded, because we're obviously a couple minutes behind. It said, was Grant low-key saying that Morley's recent work was not great? And no, I was not saying that. I was saying that, like, if you get something to 99%, every little bit, every percentage point over, every percentage point more, to get something 1% done takes no time at all. It's exponentially more difficult to get things every percentage point more done, and every percentage point more towards perfection. Yeah. And if you're putting stuff out more, you're never going to be able to put everything out at 99% perfect. And you don't need to, because it's not a movie. It's a YouTube video.
Yeah.
So you didn't say it's not great, you just said it's not the greatest.
I don't know if he thinks they're the greatest or not.
No. Okay, so I think like maybe a year ago or so, like my perspective on YouTube is like, I want to make like bigger and more refined projects. But really what I want to do is create better videos and build a channel. And I think better videos don't always mean a bigger project that is technically better. Right. I think YouTube in a large part is about like entertainment and learning. And that doesn't always come from like a big, at least for my own channel, like the things that I want to do doesn't always come from a big woodworking project.
The bigger projects I find have the potential for a big wow factor, but also have the bigger chance of you being let down.
Yeah. I feel like when I look at YouTube these days, when I look at my YouTube homepage, I see like stories. So titles of videos, and that's why I think the Punch Clock restoration has done so well, because it's a very clear story from the title. It's this part, if I were to go through the manufacturer, would cost $100. I 3D printed it for 9 cents. And people are like, great, I want to hear that story.
I don't. I haven't watched that video.
Okay, but 20,000 other people want to watch it.
Fuck. I knew it was going to do well, but I didn't want to be part of it.
I knew it too. I was like, because you and Dean were like, I don't think you should title it that. And I'm like, you guys are absolutely wrong. Like, you might be right for your own preference, but like, this is a good idea. I know for a fact.
Well, when I think about James from Fix It Fingers did the title was like the worst tool ever, and he's holding up a Craig track saw thing. And the video is not because it's the worst. I don't know. I haven't watched it either because I refuse to watch clickbait bullshit titles. I just refuse to watch them, and it's fine. He can hate me for not watching every single one of his video. But it was because I refuse to. I can't watch. I don't want to reward the algorithm.
James,
because I don't want to become part of it.
The AccuCut video.
AccuCut, yeah.
Yeah. I liked Smalley's Punch Clock video. I don't care about the clickbait title. I wish I could do clickbait titles because maybe I'd actually get some views. But I just find, I honestly, like your Fusion videos lately have just been very informative and interesting. Like I've really learnt a lot from your Fusion videos, and although I don't have a punch clock to fix, learning how to like adjust those little things and make the actual the product was great, I think.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's not. That's one of the things. It's like it's not about the punch clock. It's about the story.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's not just the story. Even like you said, it's about the skills you learn along the way. It's all about the friends we make along the way. In the end, it's all about love. Love is the answer.
Love might be the answer. So, there's Made for Makers, and sorry about turning off my camera. Made for Makers, I'm doing a reel a day, and I hate reels. And I almost uploaded, because I actually like the way I've edited my last couple. The day 1 and day 3, for those who want to go back and find them. I almost uploaded a fucking YouTube short. Like, what the fuck? I hate YouTube shorts. Like, I hope YouTube's listening. And like, but I almost went, these are actually good enough that I could throw this up on YouTube.
Yeah. I don't want to like say this publicly or like tweet it because I felt it before and like I just don't feel like I'm well enough informed on it, but I feel like YouTube Shorts like are not gonna last.
I agree.
I just don't understand who's going to YouTube to watch like short form vertical content. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think what's happening is it's places where they don't have access to other apps. Where YouTube is available, but maybe TikTok isn't. Now,
Yeah.
I will say, I think YouTube Shorts, based on a bunch of other information I have from other groups, a lot of people have uploaded shorts like 3 months ago, and those shorts are now blowing up. And I think it's because YouTube's running out of content on the shorts. So like,
Oh,
TikTok,
that's interesting.
yeah, TikTok. So a guy, Sean Woolworth, Maker Beach, uploaded a video, a short, and it was like 3 months before he got like 4 million views. But it was like 3 months of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same sort of, so they're just out of, I think they're out of content, so they're pulling into their back catalog.
Right. But yeah, it's weird. Like maybe that's going to incentivize people to put more effort into them. And I'm also thinking back to like a conversation we had a year and a half ago, which was when Instagram Reels started. And we're like, Instagram's just copying TikTok. This isn't going to last. And meanwhile, like Eden now only goes on Instagram Reels and not TikTok. And look at that's what we're talking about. So who knows?
I'm the opposite. I remember being like, I'll never watch TikTok, but I love watching Reels. And now I never watch Reels. I only use TikTok. I have Instagram for pictures, TikTok for short, like landscape videos, and then I have YouTube for the long form videos. And all these apps need to learn their place.
They're not going to learn their place. They're going to keep competing.
I know.
So I'm just going on my TikTok. My TikTok, the first video I ever uploaded to TikTok got like 2 million views. And every video since then has got less and less views to the point of today, which I think is one of my best videos. Quick, boom, boom, boom videos. 8 views.
I enjoyed your video today. The editing was great.
I have 5,000 followers on TikTok, and I get 8 views.
Yeah, followers don't matter on TikTok.
Did they all follow, and then TikTok said, go fuck yourself, you can't see any of his videos? Like,
I follow people on TikTok, and I never look at the follower page. I only look at like the whatever the normal page is. And then like the people that I follow, their stuff will just come up more often because I follow them. It'll push it to me. But I don't. My wife though, she'll actually go on and she'll go through her follower list.
yeah, that's all I go through.
So,
But you know what I hate about TikTok? The absolute number one thing I hate about TikTok is that when you open the app, it screams at me. Because the volume on TikTok is like double the volume of all my other apps. And you cannot mute it. You can't mute TikTok. You can't make it so that you... Oh, I hate it.
do you have that little present thing that comes up saying that you could earn money?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so fucking sick of that. And every time I go to click on the little X, and then I accidentally click on the present, and then I've got to get... It's so fucking annoying.
And it's very annoying because I cannot, because it's not available in Canada.
Right. That's weird, because I am able to earn money from it.
Yeah, I know. It's available in Australia. It's not available in Canada. And on
All right, we're veering into very esoteric first world problems as Grant places harmonica.
Well, we are very first world problems. I will say, is anyone in the chat got any questions for us? Because This is a good chance. This is the only chance you're going to get us to be able to respond live to
in
questions.
real time. So if you ever scream at
Yeah.
your car in frustration, even if you can think back to an older episode where you're like, why the heck did that person say that? You know, berate us verbally, and by verbally I mean text.
It won't be real time. It'll be about 60 seconds behind. But
That's why we're spitballing right now. We're just trying to kill time.
yeah, because I think there's going to be someone out there who's definitely wants to ask, why do you love TikTok so much? And that's what they're asking.
Yeah, I remember when Grant used to say he hated TikTok, and now he's all over it.
But
Now I'm
you don't
still hating.
consume any content on TikTok, do you?
None. Zero. I
Yeah.
log in, upload the video, log out.
All right, we got a question from I'm Gonna Make. He says, how is the new direction / style in your videos working out for you? I mentioned this earlier. I don't know if you were here, but it's working out fantastic so far. I think I gained like 500 subscribers today, and all the videos I put out recently are doing very well, most at least 1,000 views. So yeah, and it's really fun. I love putting out stuff like fast, and I just want to make more videos, and I'm just trying to figure out how to keep doing it like this. I think 3 videos a week is a pretty good pace for me. We'll see how long that continues for.
I got something for you, Morley. Now that you're starting to gain traction, you need to have a call to action.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of your video, you need to say, go find me on Patreon, join, whatever. You need to actually say it if you want to turn this full time. If you've
I do
noticed-
that.
When?
At the end of my videos.
Really? All right.
Well, I not always, but
we just
and
discovered
actually
that Grant
Eden
doesn't watch
noticed
the
it.
video, so
Yeah, Eden noticed it on the machete tape defensive video. She's like, I really liked it, but why didn't you do your like Patreon thing at the end? And I was like, I was lazy. But yes, I will become more consistent.
Okay.
Eden's
You should also
acting
do
on the
join
keyboard video,
on
by the way.
YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, I need to set that up. I just got the notification for like set up super chat. I was like, cool. But I will do that.
What's
join
super
thing
chat?
as well? It's basically like people can send you money on. Basically, they can like donate $1 or $5 on YouTube, and they get like a badge next to their name and like a.
Is
their
that like the
special
new
comment.
send coins thing on Facebook that's really pissing me off?
No.
That's been around for a while.
It's
Is it?
Patreon.
I've just
It's
noticed it.
Patreon for YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we
No,
have
those are two
actual
different
questions.
things. Those are two different things. There's super and super chat, which
Oh, okay.
like are commenting, and then there's also channel memberships. Okay,
Alright.
other questions.
We got another question.
James is going to make me a sign.
James is good. Awesome. I like it. Maybe it'll have clamps in it.
Yeah. Maybe it could be
so-
in some sort of challenge where you have to make it.
How many beers has Grant drank? How many beers has Grant drank in 100 episodes? So Emmett from Dead Rise Woodcrafts asked this question on the 50th episode, and I'll let you guys all know. I actually don't think in the last 3 months I've drank a beer on clamp. Because
Until today.
because I didn't have anything to celebrate until today. I have also moved 4 belt loops down.
Ooh, there you go.
Wow.
I am at the next one is to pull out my little hole punch and punch another hole. So because that's the last belt loop hole, whatever on my belt. And then to lead into the next question, Brad from I'm Gonna Make says, "Are you done with the and have a great day closer on my videos?" I think I am. For the 10% of people who watch that, you can, if you really miss it, you can go back and watch it.
But that's the thing, right? Like it almost doesn't matter if it's the very end of your video, like whether you do it or not.
It matters to 10% of the people. So
Okay.
I was talking with Austin from High Caliber Craftsman earlier today, and he hasn't produced a video in a long time. And he said, like, who does it matter? And I said, it matters to me. It's like, I liked your videos. I
Yeah, he
enjoyed
makes really
watching
good
your
videos.
Yeah. And I went, and he's like, well, your life hasn't been negatively affected by me not making videos. I went, well, I guess it kind of has because I enjoyed them.
Right.
But, yeah. So Scott asked, who are your 3 favorite people in the Discord? And I'm going to say it's Grant, Adam, and Morley. And I think you can all
I was
agree.
going to say the same thing.
Same.
Perfect.
Justin, I've thought about removing the ending altogether and then also adding it halfway through. I've noticed a lot of people do the call to action halfway through.
So
Which has
I'll read
been
that
interesting.
question out. Maybe do it
Yeah.
before the end. Are people dropping out of the video before you get to that part? So that's the question from Justin. On
Yeah.
my, as soon as at the end of the project, as soon as I show a beauty shot, they drop out. As soon as I talk, as soon as my head appears on any bit of my video, there's a dip. I don't. So people don't like looking at me.
Yeah.
And
You just
every
gotta hit
time
him
I-
with a surprise. Support my Patreon out of nowhere in the middle of the video, and then just
Right.
get back to whatever you were doing.
Yeah. This it actually reminded me, as people know in the pre-show, we talk about what we've been working on, and I actually forgot that I have a video to edit. I'm going to talk about it in the after show, but for my call to action, I did it as like my outro with like this is what the finished project looks like, and then like the whole thing. I think if you have like an end screen, that's where people drop out. As soon as that end screen comes up, they're like, all right, next video.
Oh, my end screen doesn't pop up then, but as soon as I get on the camera, people drop out. So people just
Yeah.
don't like looking at me. Maybe we shouldn't do a YouTube. Maybe we should only do a podcast. Maybe I got the face for podcasting.
Maybe you should just show your hands in the YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe you got a face for
Um,
radio.
So we've got another question here. From Jared Jenkins? What's the worst thing about being a content creator?
That's a good question.
For me, it's guilt. I feel so stressed and guilty that I haven't put out content. And I tell myself, I don't care. That like, I'm trying to grow a following, but I'm not trying to like be the biggest YouTuber. Like if I don't grow, I don't care. But then I feel so bad that I haven't put out a video for a month, or like I haven't been on Instagram all this year pretty much. It's pretty rare that I go on there.
Other than the Clamp Instagram.
Yeah.
The Clampstagram. We have 500 plus people that follow us on Clamp. It's amazing.
Nice.
On the Clampstagram.
We have
All right, we're
more
getting
people
lots of
follow
questions.
us
so we
on
gotta
Instagram.
Okay.
We have more people
Morley,
follow
go.
us on Instagram than we have people that listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I love being a content creator. Like that's why I want to turn this into like a sustainable job, because I really like doing it and it's really fulfilling. But I'll say that, when you're putting stuff out there and no one's watching it, that sucks, because you feel like you're putting all this work in and you're not getting anything for it, and you're like, how am I ever going to build this into something bigger? So that's really hard. I would say another thing is if you're doing stuff on camera, and you just feel like you can't get it right, like you do 10 takes to try to get spoken, like a talking headshot right, or like trying to say something the right way, and that's really frustrating and embarrassing if like Ian's in the same room with me. But I just found that experience and just trying to act natural, I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but just being like, pretend you're talking to a friend or something helps.
For me, worst part being content creators, anytime I have to film outdoors is the time that one of my neighbors decides it's time to cut the grass. Every
100%.
fucking time. I'm like, I
Yep.
just want to record a 5-minute intro, and I'm like, I set up the camera, everything. I think they see me. They're like, time to cut the grass. I'm like, God damn it.
Was
Um,
my video that I just finished that I need to edit, I was recording outside because I was working on my car, and every time I went to record and talk to the camera, the next door neighbor walked outside and just walked in my shot, and I'm like, God damn it, now I've got to wait for them. And then like I sit there for a couple of minutes and wait for them to go back inside, and then you go to record again, they come out to get something else. It's so annoying.
Okay, Daddy Yourself asks, how would you guys market channel membership? For me, the big thing about marketing channel membership that I know works, but I don't like it, is things like if you watch a YouTube video and they have the little like mouse clicking on the subscribe, mouse clicking on the ding, mouse clicking on the join button. Those things work throughout the video. Saying it throughout the video, saying it once throughout the video, once at the end, is a marketing way of making people do it. Calls to action work. That's why they're in everything. What about you guys?
You're the marketing person, so that sounds about right to me. Honestly, I don't know enough about it and how it's any different from Patreon to really speak to it, but I think I would just, in the same way as I talk about Patreon, just be like, this is another option.
Yeah, I don't even know Patreon, so.
Fair. All right, Devin, 292 by Devin asks, what is each of your favorite episodes? I'll go first. It's the Instructables episode. It was my favorite episode.
Mine's the one with Bob, just because that was like my dream. Starting a podcast, I wanted to have Bob on.
That was a good episode too.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
I really like the discussion episodes, the three of us, when we talk about like stuff in the creative process. So like I really like the last episode we did with play. I like the episodes we've done about like finding inspiration. I can't think of the specific topics that come to mind, but
one that I think about often that I wish I want to go back to one day is the Ira Glass
taste gap.
The taste gap. That's the one that I think I would like to go back to one day. So I think I have more to say on it. Jared Jenkins, what is your signature meal that you cook? And I'm going to go first again. Craft dinner. Go ahead. It's got to be Katie.
Eden and I have actually been talking about this recently. Like, I feel like we cook like I don't know if we have standard go-tos. Like, we try a lot of new foods when we're cooking them. There was a period where like I was making pad thai maybe like once a month, and that was like Eden really liked it and I really liked it, so that was kind of like a signature. It's like there's been periods when it's been stir fry. We make sushi a good amount as well. I realize now that those are all Asian foods. It's not all we eat, but we make like pizza about once a month. We made pizza a couple nights ago, which is really good.
Okay, you're someone new that you've met, and there's like a chance that they're going to give you a sponsorship, and they're coming over for dinner. What are you making them?
If they eat meat, I'm gonna make them a roast chicken with roasted asparagus with some Parmesan on top. And let's see, for a grain, maybe like, ooh, I know. Okay, no, okay, it's fine. So this is.
I feel like you have to think about it this hard. It's not a signature dish.
No, this is an important decision. Grant has just laid out how important of a decision this is. You need to give this some thought. So for sure, roast chicken stuffed with like rosemary and lemon and garlic, and then roast potatoes to go along with that, like baby potatoes.
Yep.
Possibly components. So this is a really nice dinner. I might also do like a salad with like arugula, goat cheese, roasted beets, and yeah, maybe some other like greens in there. That sounds really good.
The fact that you people roast beets is weird to me.
Yep. Morley makes really weird stuff. So, what are you gonna make? What's your signature?
You lagged out, but I'm guessing you asked me. Any roast dinner, but I cook it on the barbecue. So it's a weird way to do it, but all our roasts for me is cooked on a hooded barbecue, very slowly cooked. Most of the time it's roast pork because that's what everyone tends to like, except for my wife's auntie because she's weird. But yeah, pretty much a roast dinner.
Nice. Okay, last question. Yeah.
Wait, no, I think we should do more. There's some good ones coming in.
What do you mean? Which?
Well, let's do the next one and then.
Okay, we'll do two more. I see two more. So we got Greg from Platte Valley Woodworks. Any tips to starting a podcast? Definitely get a microphone. That's my tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. A good microphone.
And I would say also, because I think we've talked about this, is record a few practice episodes.
Yes.
Yeah. And don't release them. Just listen to them.
Yeah. And learn. Adam, one tip from you.
I don't know. Like again, yeah, good microphone, but then also have a plan of where like you want the podcast. What do you want the podcast to be about, and where you want it to go? Because if you just say, I just want to start a podcast and talk shit, it's not going to really have... No one's going to listen if they don't relate, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
They need to know what it's about.
I like it. All right, Brad, I'm going to do this one quickly. Brad said, I'm going to make, how many subs do I need to be a guest on Clamp? The answer is 0 subs. But we need to have a reason for having you on. Which we need to know why. We need to have a topic that makes sense with what you do.
Yeah.
Because
you're going to message us with a good topic and we can have you on.
Yeah, maybe. I don't want to have our inbox flooded with good topics. Actually, I do. Tony Langer asked a question.
Cut that bit out.
Yeah. So Emmett asked a question. I'm not going to even respond to it all. But Tony Langer asked a good question. Which episode is your biggest regret and thought was a waste of time and want to redo? And I'll go last.
Wow.
I can't answer that.
Oh, okay. I have one.
All right.
The pain episode that we didn't even release.
I was about to say the
only put
exact
it up
same
on the
thing.
Patreon.
Gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, we have an
Wait,
episode
what
on our
happened
Patreon.
there?
It was just a shit episode. We didn't get onto the topic properly. We didn't talk properly. Like, it just didn't flow like it should.
Yeah. We were talking over each other a lot.
Yeah.
That was not too long ago either. That was like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of it, I was in pain. So, anyways, that is definitely the one. If you're a patron, you can find it. We put it up for our patrons to listen to.
Yeah.
So, okay. The very last question is Jared Jenkins asks, what the fuck is Kraft Dinner? And Kraft Dinner is just boxed macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. If you've listened to If I Had $1 Million by the Bare Naked Ladies, they reference
Which
it in
is
that song.
A very Canadian band who,
I only know what Craft Dinner is from watching YouTube.
So, okay. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to move in to my favorite part of the episode. And this is where we get to thank all of our supporters. So, I'm going to do something different. This week, I'm going to thank every single person who supports us currently. I'm going to start off with the F-Clamp level. So, we have 3 different levels of supporters on Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/clamp, you can find the different levels there. But it starts off with the best clamp, in my opinion, the F-Clamp. We have Brent Jarvis from Clean Cut Woodworking. We have Vincent Ferrari from Because We Make, and Austin from the High Caliber Craftsman. And as we were recording this, Scott upped his level. Scott Orem from Dad Yourself, and he is now an F-Clamp level supporter. And so, thank you very much to the F-Clamp levels.
Thank you.
Let me just move on my little... You made it hard for me, Scott, but thank you. I have to Control-C, Control-V. So then we have the C-Clamp levels. So we got Greg from Platte Valley, not Pallet Valley. Jared Jenkins, Keith Decent, Trip Southern. And then from the Spring Clamps, we have Andrew Zito, Mark Daner, Patrick Freeburn, Justin from Bear Make It, Dave Bauer, Dean Duplantis, Eric from Overall Makerworks, Billy from the newly named Poulton Projects, which, by the way, was my suggestion, and Jacob from Other Dog Designs, Jacob Griffin, Jeff Stein, who's a weird guy, and Tony Langer. Thank you, every single one of you. Without your support, we wouldn't be doing this. I guarantee you that. I don't know how else I can say it other than just thank you so much. Anyone who wants to become a supporter, you can go to patreon.com/clamp, where you get access to the pre-shows, the after shows. We also send, Morley makes a keychain and sends it to you, and it's numbered. I think we're at number 22.
Yeah, next one I think will be 23.
Yeah, there we go. So, thank you so much.
I was going to say, Jacob from Other Dog Design said that episode that we didn't put out wasn't that bad. We have actually had a few people say that.
Wait, didn't we not put it out? How does he know it wasn't that bad?
We only put it on Patreon.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
On that
and
note,
Scott, Grant is more than happy to say your name every week.
For an F-Clamp level, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. This should work.
Clamp
Hang on.
Mendations.
Wait, man, should we try to synchronize?
No, he's got it. He's got it queued up.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It just played.
Morley, go.
All right. So a maker who actually Jacko whatever suggested to me when we had him on Into the Spotlight, Daniel De Bruin, he put out a project recently which is an automatic Zen garden, which is very cool. I think that's all I really need to say about it. It's a really cool project, and go check out his page, Daniel De Bruin.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna recommend the Frog Pod, which is a new like magnetic 3D printed camera and or light. Like clamp. I don't want to call it a clamp because it's not a clamp. It's like a tripod. It's not really a tripod. It's got three
stand?
things.
A holder?
I guess you could call it a stand or a holder. It's awesome. It's a frog pod. Go look it up on Instagram. There's a frog pod army. He is the guy. Infinite Craftsman is going to be launching a Kickstarter very soon, and I think it might be the very first Kickstarter that I contribute to. I've also reached out to him, and this is actually me calling him out, saying I hope he gives us a frog pod to give as a prize for the
Ooh,
clamp
that's a good
challenge. Yeah, because I want one for my bandsaw because I've been thinking about putting a light on it, and this just makes it so that I already have a quarter 20 like standard tripod thing like light. I can just put that onto this frog pod. I think it's made with TPU. I think he stops halfway through the print to insert magnets.
I just learned that there's a feature in Prusa Slicer where you can pause the print automatically to do things like that.
Yes. And if you don't use Prusa Slicer and you'd like to pause, you can edit the code. It's not that difficult. Adam.
I want to shout out Zach Builds. His video
yes.
content lately has gotten so much better. I mean, it was so good to begin with, but I know he's been taking some courses and stuff on Skillshare, and his videos just look 10 times better than they already did. He's killing it with his videos.
Awesome.
Well, at this point in the episode, we would normally go to Morley's reading a review, but we've only gotten 22 reviews, and we have 100 episodes. We had to find something else to do in that time period, so instead we're going to Adam's Australian Word of the Week.
Yeah, well, this week it's actually Jared's Australian Word of the Week because I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
I actually had to Google it. It's dead horse.
So I know dead horse from like if you're beating a dead horse, it's like at the
That's
end
what I
of,
thought
like,
it meant.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not it. Well, then that's my
No.
One of our favorite pastimes in the Discord.
beating a dead horse.
Pity a dead horse.
A dead horse. Well, so here's where my brain's at. So like a dead cat is the wind screen that you put over a microphone. So I feel like it's a similar sort of tool, like a production tool. So maybe it's like a sandbag.
No, if you're thinking about when he brought it up, it would kind of make sense. But it's rhyming slang for tomato sauce.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's-
I've never heard of that
huh.
before, but yeah.
Is there horse in tomato sauce?
No, just maggots and tomatoes.
Really?
Okay.
I shouldn't. Anyway, yeah, if anyone who eats tomato sauce doesn't know that. Directly under it, it says the word Devo. Don't know if you know what that is.
No.
A mispronunciation of the band?
The band?
Devo.
Who's Devo?
Okay. Well, whoa. Save it for another week. I want to
Got
thank
it.
You got a week to work it out.
Yeah, I want to thank TF Turning, who was in the chat, but he probably left because it's 2 o'clock. Well, now 3 o'clock in the morning there. Thank you for making that theme song. That's awesome. I want to thank everyone for coming in and being part of the chat. Don't leave yet. We're going to go into the after show. Anyone who wants a free after show, stay tuned. We'll answer some more questions in the after show.
Ooh,
Now
good
you can
idea.
get explicit.
Yeah.
Like we haven't been explicit this whole time. And yeah, you can find us everywhere on the internet by searching for Clamp, Adam Grant Morley, and we're very active on the gram, the book, the Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Until next time, cheers, guys.
See you.
And have a great day.
Tim's still
See
here.
ya.
Bye.
Wow, hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
All right, so if any, as Grant said, if anyone else has any more questions they want to ask, keep them coming.
All right. I'm gonna be right
Jay-
back.
James
I
said
can
that I'm
still
too
hear.
young because I don't know the dead horse thing.
You're 31. Is that right?
33. I
33.
turned
think, yeah,
33
you're my brother's age.
in a month and 2 days.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, after show. I
For
gotta figure out what my
everyone,
next video is. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, for everyone that's saying, good luck with tomorrow. Thank you. The doctor I'm going through, he's done this. This is like his 10,000 and something of the same surgery. So like I'm not
Wow.
worried on that. Yeah, I'm not worried on that sense. I just feel really stressed for no reason. I guess just because I've never like done surgery and all that sort of stuff. But you know, I'm
Yeah.
getting there. I'll get through it. It's going to be 12
Yeah,
months
I
of
think
hell,
it's-
but it's worth it.
Sounds very natural to be stressed leading up to this.
Yeah. I think I was thinking about it this morning, and I think my biggest worry is just like, am I doing the right thing? Like, I've spent a lot of money. Is it worth it? But like, it's too late now.
Yeah, I think
anyway,
Yeah, I think at this point, like, you know, you got to trust that you've thought about it for a long time, right? It wasn't a super short process to get to this point, and you've talked it through with doctors and things. So
yeah, exactly.
I think-
This has been a 10-year decision, so
day 2, what was day 2? You mean the day 2 video?
I think he's saying I wouldn't have made it 5 days in a row, that's for sure. No, Scott.
I think day 2
Although
made,
my
made for
wife-
makers.
Although my wife is trying to get me to do that, no.
Wait, no, the first day was the one when I was riding my bike, so that couldn't have been it. Scott, I don't know what you're talking about. Added.
I read that wrong. I thought it was Adamdictomy. I thought he was saying vasectomy.
I thought it was one of those things you're supposed to read out loud, and it sounds funny when you read it out loud.
Addictomy.
All right, I'll give you one.
Oh, day 2 of Made for Makers, he said.
That was just in my apartment, though. I mean, I was
Maybe-
just in. I think he's talking about the first day when I was riding my bike.
Bro, when I
yeah,
look
it
at
was-
you riding your bike in Toronto, I go, yeah, that's why I like Ottawa, because we have bike paths.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of bike paths along the streets. You know, it's not separated from traffic in Toronto. But I have been riding my bike alongside traffic since university, so I'm very comfortable with it.
In Montreal, where people don't care.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really feel much of a different vibe with biking in Montreal and Toronto, other than I biked through a winter in Montreal. So there's one morning where we had an ice storm, and I was like, I'm still going to bike to campus. And every single turn, I fell. Like, because there wasn't enough friction to
Yeah.
actually support the turn.
So when
It's
I
so-
had a motorcycle in high school, I didn't have a car, so I only had a motorcycle. So the only for my independence was having a motorcycle. So as soon as it got cold, I still drove, and it snowed, and I remember going around a corner and like almost falling, and I went, maybe this is why people don't drive motorcycles in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
And I put it away, and I went, I guess I'll come back and I'll be self-reliant in the spring again, because I was 16, right? Like, you know, you want to be super, like, there's nothing you can do in the winter. It just sucks.
Yeah. I'm thinking about getting a motorcycle within, like, the next 5 years or so.
Yeah, I have one somewhere.
You lost it?
Basically, it's in my dad's garage. And I could also, like, if I really asked, I could just steal so my dad has a 1952 Harley-Davidson Banhead. If I asked for it, he would give it to me. it's in about 1,000 pieces. So, and it's been that way since I was 4, and I'm 37.
Yeah, the one thing, so like I feel like I would get into motorcycling. Like I've rode mopeds, and I've always liked biking. I like going fast, and I've been into extreme sports. The one thing I'm a little worried about is one time I went mountain biking in the Rockies, and I just like basically to successfully navigate these trails, you need to really commit into leaning into the corners, and I just like wasn't confident enough to do it. So that's the
Right.
one thing I'm nervous about is like developing the confidence to lean into corners. But I guess that just comes with time and experience. Like you're not going to
So-
go super fast in your first day.
On to get a motor, well, I don't know if it's to get one, but
Yeah,
I
it would
think
take, a
to
course.
get insurance. I think you need to do the like to get any, unless you're really rich to get insurance, you need to take the course. The course
Yeah.
teaches you how to do it. So I grew up driving like dirt bikes. So when you drive dirt bikes, it's completely different than the road, because when you drive a dirt bike, you're looking at 5 feet in front of you, 10 feet in front of you. When you're driving on the road,
Right.
you're looking way further,
Yeah.
right? Because you don't want to crash. You don't want to, like, you're looking at everything. And you're driving a dirt bike, you're looking at 10 feet maybe, right? And you're never driving that fast when you're driving a dirt bike. And that was a big, big change that the course taught me.
Cool.
But it
That's good.
taught me like leaning as well. Because when you go to turn, to turn, you turn the other way. You got to turn left to turn right. You got to turn right to turn left. Because it's about shifting the weight.
I think. Do you have like manual and auto licenses? It's like if you get your driver's license in an auto, you're only allowed to drive autos.
No.
We have that here, and it's the same with motorbikes. So if you go do your test on a scooter, you can only drive, because scooters are auto. You can only drive auto bikes. But
That's
if you get a manual, you can drive either. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
Hey Adam, do you know Taika Waititi?
No.
He's an Australian, or he's a Kiwi director and actor. He made like What We Do in the Shadows, Thor Ragnarok. What else? Jojo Rabbit, Hunt for the Wilder People. He's hilarious as well. And I've been following him on Instagram and like watching his stories. And he was at a playground with his kids in New Zealand, and they were riding these like huge zip lines. And I was talking with Eden, who was born in New Zealand, and she was saying that they're all over New Zealand. Do they have those in Australia as well?
Yep. Was
That's
it like
awesome.
a rope hanging down with like a rubber disc on the bottom?
Yeah.
Of the rope? Yeah. Yeah, we have one at the
That's-
park. There's a park like 2 streets away from my house. There's one there.
And how
Everywhere.
long is it?
I want to say 10 meters. Not
That's
super
sick.
long,
That's so fun.
but it's pretty cool. And they're not really steep, so like they don't go heaps fast. But it's an interesting system. So like when you sit on it, it pulls the top down away from the cable to let it move. Whereas if there's no weight on there, the rope like goes up and locks it in place. So
That's so
the more you weigh, the faster you'll go, because you can release, like it's like the brake. Like you, so if you don't weigh enough, you can't release the brake. It won't go. Yeah,
Whoa.
they're cool, but they're also dangerous. Like we were at a park. It's probably like, I don't know, 4 minutes from my house, by car, and there was a girl on it, and the cable snapped, but there's no one around. Like there's no counselor or anyone around to know, like, to fix it or anything like that. It just parents' discretion. Yeah.
Wow. That is quite the downer.
Yeah. Oh, she didn't get hurt.
let's-
She was alright. It's not that far off the ground.
Oh,
You fall like less than a meter. It's not that bad. Tony
And-
asked
and
if I'm still
feet?
going to the gym. I haven't given a gym update for a while. I haven't gone for. I didn't go much this year, just not feeling it and stuff. But I actually quit 2 and a bit weeks ago, just from being on this diet. I'm currently on liquid shakes for 4 weeks, which ends tomorrow, because of my surgery. Excuse me, sorry. And I just had no energy. I have no energy. I couldn't go to the gym, and ended up suspending my membership because I can't go for at least 6 weeks, I think, after surgery. But even then, like, they say that you should only do walking and stuff. It shouldn't actually be like full on gym. So probably 6 months before I can go to the gym properly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have anything else to say. After show worthy. I don't have anything secret I'm working on, other than clearly I'm gonna be the electrician I call. Well, actually, I'm gonna call my dad. But I've got everything run. I'm so excited.
So real quick, what opportunities is that going to open up?
It's a 220. I have a 220 welder, so I can weld.
Oh, that's sick. I need to get a welder.
It's also, I can, because I'll have a sub panel there and the appropriate amperage, I can charge a Tesla at full power, or any other electric car. Basically, it'll add in the future. It'll future proofs my garage. It also means that I can run my dust collector, my dust filter, and my table saw all at once, and not have the lights turn off. That's the biggest thing.
So you'll hit it here first. Grant's getting a Tesla.
No, my brother has one though. I wouldn't get one. I don't think battery power is the future, because I don't think batteries are the future. But I'll give it another 10 years and see what happens.
I honestly, like, it does not make sense to me that you guys have to add a higher voltage power. Like, every single power point in Australia is 240 volts. We don't have this like 110 and then you have to add 220. It's such a weird concept. And like, we have is it you guys that don't have switches on your power points?
Yep.
Yeah, we do. That confuses me as well. You don't have switches on your power points, and you don't have 220.
I would just leave them on all the time.
But that's dangerous.
Why?
So if you unplug your laptop from a PowerPoint, does it not zap? If it's
no, because it's 110.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
probably why. So how do you run like a powerful computer then if you only have 110?
Because computer runs off 12 volts.
Yeah, you just need the AC adapter.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Great episode, guys.
I agree. That was fun. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining our live show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think other than the one mess up, it went pretty flawlessly. I also forgot to play the outro, so I'll play it now and then finish the live.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.